Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm here with the Sisters of the Valley, and they're going to talk about their mushroom coffee. So, Sister Kate, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I think people just don't understand what mushrooms are, and usually their first question is it magic mushrooms? It's coffee that we ship around the world. And so, no, there's nothing psychedelic in it. But I think what people don't understand is this ignorance was very intentional by the food industry. Our fear of mushrooms and our lack of knowledge can be pointed right back to the food pyramid people and how they educated us in school or failed to educate us rather on the realities of nutrition. So we are making this. We're here with you, Micah, and thank you for inviting us.
Of course.
To talk about mushrooms and to talk about our mushroom coffee, and then to post it so people can see it and listen to it. We've kind of decided we're going to take it in order of what people need instead of taking it in the order of ingredients like we usually do. We combined into 17 ingredients, and it was our pandemic passion project, going for mood stabilization. The one thing we wanted was mood stabilization because we were all anxious. For a while. We were spraying Lysol on our food, and we all thought we were going to die. I mean, I remember my brother calling and saying, it was really nice knowing you. Did you hear about what's going on? And I'm like, wow. So we were very anxious. So we were looking for something to calm everybody. And we reached for 6 functional mushrooms and 3 roots. And instead of, I'll list what those functional mushrooms are, and the roots are, of course. But what we want to talk about and what will become clear to you is if we look at 5 areas of human need, these mushrooms kind of provide an answer. So we're going to try to address it from that perspective, the human need perspective. But before I start on that, I think we'll let Sister Maria list the 6 mushrooms that are in our coffee.
Absolutely.
And then Sister Sophia will list the 3 roots.
So we have the red reishi, the lion's mane, cordyceps, turkey tail, the Siberian chaga, and the shiitake.
And the 3 roots are ashwagandha, turmeric root, and ginger root.
Yes, and these are all brought together in an attempt to bring mood stabilization and calmness and get us all in touch with our inner Buddhist monk. So in area of need, we, from our perspective as women who work with people in pain and who work with plant medicine, the number one, and these are not in order of importance, but one of the top things people need are pain relief and anti-inflammatories. And you can just see by the billions spent every year in the market of anti-inflammatories, and that there is a real need for that. And in our setup, Sophia, do you want to tell them which of the ingredients contribute to pain relief and anti-inflammatory?
Absolutely. So for anti-inflammatory benefits, lion's mane, cordyceps, turkey tail, Siberian chaga, shiitake, ashwagandha, turmeric root, and ginger root. That's almost all except for one, right?
Right. That's
And
8 of the 9. 8 of the 9 of these ingredients contribute to anti-inflammation in the body.
Correct.
Which creates a condition for pain relief.
Correct. And then the pain relief, ashwagandha, turmeric root, and ginger root, which are all adaptogens, by the way.
Yes.
And what's an adaptogen?
So an adaptogen it's a unique class of like healing plants, and their main purpose is to restore homeostasis. It gives us the ability to just calm down so that we're not always in flight or fight mode.
So that being top of our list, then I'd say the second one that we want to talk about is improvement to focus and cognition, brain health, basically. And that's also high on everybody's list. Why we have a multi-billion-dollar Adderall market is mainly people need it for focus. And Maria, do you want to list the ingredients that add to brain focus and cognition?
Improved focus and cognition would be the lion's mane, the shiitake, and the roots would be ashwagandha, turmeric, and ginger. All have those properties.
And these kind of like neurotropics or no? You know,
Yes. I mean, yes. And there's a whole lot we don't really understand about it. We do know that they're regenerative.
Regenerative.
Most of these are neuroregenerative, and most of these effects are coming as a result of neurotropic activity.
yeah.
So another classification that we think people need help with is depression. And often depression comes from just understanding how really shitty the world can be and people can be. It's from, it comes from a place of wokeness and understanding sometimes. Even the best and the mightiest suffered depression sometime at some point over something or maybe over nothing. It's a downtime of the soul. It's sometimes, I think, necessary. But it's certainly not fun, and those that are dealing with it for more than 3 days, where it's going to depress your life and drag you down, are reaching. And again, we have a multi-billion-dollar market on pharmaceutical antidepressives, when in fact there's 3 mushrooms and 3 roots that, or 3 mushrooms and 2 roots that contribute to that, and we have them in our coffee, which is the red reishi, the lion's mane, the cordyceps. And then the roots are the ashwagandha and the turmeric. Those all contribute to alleviating depression. Another category of human need would be anxiety and sleep. And those seem to go together. And usually it's because, the anxious brain is not going to make way for sleep to come. And we have 3 ingredients in here, 2 mushrooms and 1 root that contribute to that. And that would be the red reishi, the lion's mane, and the ginger root. And then there's one more area let Sophia speak to, which is heart health and blood sugar levels, regulating blood sugar levels.
Right. So for heart health, our mushroom coffee, we have 4 mushrooms in there and 3 roots, and those are all also let me speak first about the improvement of the heart health, which, gosh, that's like an epidemic, right? Countrywide, we're not taking good care of ourselves, and we're looking to establish some good heart health moments, and our coffee definitely provides that with red reishi, lion's mane, cordyceps, and then shiitake. And then when we look at the roots that are in our coffee that benefit our hearts, we've got the ashwagandha, and we've got turmeric and ginger root. And then for blood sugars as well, which is also part of our coffee, is the Siberian chaga, which people don't talk about often, but it's definitely a huge supporter in regulating blood sugar levels. And when we look at our sugar levels and just diabetes and the processed foods, specific to regulating these sugar levels, we have 4 mushrooms and one root, and that is red reishi, lion's mane, cordyceps, and just mentioned the Siberian chaga, and then for the root, ginger root, which makes sense.
So we just talked about the top 5 benefits. We categorized them into anxiety and sleep, and to pain and inflammation, and to heart health, and depression. But we just talked about those 5. The fact of the matter is that you asked the question about it being neurotropic, and it is. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these ingredients that are neuroprotective. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 of these ingredients that are antifungal, antibacterial, and we have 3 ingredients that aid in weight loss. We have 3 ingredients that improve skin and bone health and teeth health. So we have an ingredient specifically, the chaga, the Siberian chaga, that reduces high blood pressure and reduces the risk of stroke. So there's way more than what we talked about, but we're just trying to simplify the conversation. So let's now, bitches, let's put the papers aside and just get real about how it affected us and our lives when we switched from drinking coffee bean coffee to introducing these mushrooms into our diet, and Sophia, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, huge for me. Well, first, let me just say at 51 and in full on menopause, it has helped me a tremendous amount. As we all know, as women, the stressors that we deal with, and then when we have our hormones fluctuating and changing, how that affects us. And I was looking for something that would just calm me down and something that would help create focus for me because I'm in a corporate job as well as being a sister. So once I started to introduce a daily regime of like my morning coffee being replaced by the mushroom coffee, I noticed some significant changes within me. Number one, the calmness that it brought on for me, the clarity and focus at my work. I was much quicker to respond and pause before responding.
Yeah, that's a
you
big
know
one.
what I mean,
No,
right?
I need that before a podcast.
Right? Yeah. So, whereas before I was constantly like on the go, on the move, just, not really, I was focused, but not as hyper focused. And when I say hyper focused, I don't mean like I'm just like super focused on one certain task and nothing else, intercepts my immediate thoughts. However, the clarity that comes with that has been substantial. I move much more diligently through my tasks. I feel like I'm well-rounded with everything I do. I feel like I can button things up, cross my T's, dot my I's, and look at things in a much calmer and effective way. Also, what it has done for me, for both scenarios, being a sister and my corporate job, is it's given me new pathways. I don't even know how to describe this, but I look at things very differently. I see things on a multidimensional level, meaning where I didn't have ideas before, somehow I now have these creative ideas that are influencing my everyday life in a very positive way. And I'm sleeping much better.
Bingo. So before we go on with that, or before you ask any questions, I think we should open this and show everybody what we're talking about, because what we're talking about, this is basically
And so
a mushroom coffee starter kit.
Do you guys all these mushrooms are into one coffee mix,
Right,
correct?
so all those ingredients we
blend.
talked about to get all those benefits, 17 ingredients come out, our Super 17 mushroom coffee. And in this kit, on the back, there's a label with some with the nutrition information, but also some recipes on how to make this. And I would like Micah to try it. So I was going to open it here just so that people can see what it looks like when you get it from us.
Here, I can kind of.
And it very much looks like a bag of cinnamon. And this is the frother wand kit because you can make a perfect latte with this if you have something to whip the milk with. And you whip the milk and add it at the end. You don't whip it up with everything. So you basically make this and then whip your hot milk separately, pour it on top, and you have the perfect latte. So I think you're going to go try to make one of these for Micah so he
Awesome.
can try it while Sophia and I continue the conversation. And then when you come back,
And then grab a mug
you
too.
can take your
Yeah.
turn talking about your experience.
And so you guys started this in 2020. Is this when you guys kind of?
I think we started, it was like a six or 9 month period of us testing recipes. And we really took our time about it because there wasn't a lot else to do during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have the funds to launch it yet. So we took our time about experimenting with it. We ended up, recipe 5 won out of 8 recipes. And after we got to a recipe everyone liked, then we continued to try to improve it and didn't. And that's how we landed back at recipe 5. And that was our winning recipe. But essentially what we were all doing in our own way was taking all of these supplements differently. We were reading and learning about mushrooms during the pandemic and then started taking them. I'm like, wow, red reishi is really good for you. I'm going to get that. Wow, ashwagandha root, really good for you. Mood stabilization, anxiety, good sleep. And I was taking a bunch of supplements when we realized that this stuff is equally effective with the hot water. Like that doesn't take away from its medicinal value in any way. And that's why mushroom coffees were coming along. And then the research showed us that mushroom coffee was really something the Swedes invented during World War II when there was a coffee bean shortage. And we are facing a coffee bean shortage again because of global warming. A lot of the countries that are getting hammered are the ones that make our tea and our coffee. So, and our cocoa beans. So a lot of that, so this all makes sense is that we for planetary health reasons and for our own health reasons, we become less dependent on the coffee bean. But also, the coffee bean, everybody knows more than 2 cups of coffee is really bad for you. Like a cup of coffee is good for you in the day, but more than 2 starts to get bad for you. And where coffee will eat at your stomach, mushroom coffee
very
will not.
acidic, yeah.
Where I can have a big mushroom coffee latte with some oat milk and go work out for 2 hours, and that does not sit on my stomach or bother my stomach, but that's not the same with coffee bean coffee. So, so that's where we were. It was a pandemic passion project.
And is
we
there
ended up
caffeine in this or no?
There is. So it works like this. A regular cup of coffee bean coffee has 90 milligrams of
gotcha.
caffeine. Ours have 30. Caffeine is like 10. Or decaf, sorry. Decaf is 9 milligrams.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Right in
regular
between.
coffee, 90. Decaf, 9. We're at 30.
Okay, gotcha.
We are hoping to come up with a decaf recipe, but probably the best we'll do is that 9, like the caffeine decaf, where because the cocoa, we'll be relying on the cocoa, and the cocoa has our 47% of it is chai tea and cocoa.
Oh, and that's
then-
where the
then
caffeine
the
comes
other
from, is the chai?
53%, yes, it comes from the chai tea.
I was
and
wondering,
the
I was like, is there
cocoa.
coffee in it? Or
Not the
okay.
mushrooms
Yeah.
and not the roots, but the chai and the cocoa base, which is 47%. And then 53% is all the mushrooms and the roots and the spices. So you're really getting a very healthful brew. And people do want a decaf, don't they? And
Yes, they
people
do.
also want, and I don't know if these are one and the same, the decaf or like a nighttime cocoa drink.
Oh, like
That's
a calming
mushroom
one.
coffee, cocoa
Calming.
drink, right?
Or I wonder, like, if a tea or something might be like.
Right, and we're even thinking maybe of putting collagen in it because that,
That would be
seems to be
great.
something
I'm
that
already
people are
adding
taking.
that into
Anything
mine.
people are taking as a supplement, if we can get it in there, then they don't have to.
And I think one of the big things about this is like anti-inflammatory, because like we have a huge problem where everyone's popping Tylenol and ibuprofen, and it's horrible
That's
for
so
your
bad for the liver.
I was gonna say that it's like
I
horrible
was-
for your liver.
I was told this horrible story. There was like a 19-year-old boy in the valley who got in a bad car wreck, and they told him to take Advil 3 times a day for all the bone pains he got, and he died of liver failure at 29.
Yeah, because they
Because
say
he took 3 Advil a day for 10 years of a growing boy's life.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, okay, well, it's just like any other like prescription drug. It's like, okay, I'm only taking one of these, and then your body gets used to it. It stops being so effective. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then like
Exactly.
to the normal person, you're like, oh, it's not going to matter if I take 2 of these. Or like I've known like baseball players,
Our
other
bodies
people.
can't filter
Well, I'm
that
glad you
over
brought
time.
that up because that's the one thing that I think the mushroom coffee can do. It can replace Adderall. I really believe it could replace Adderall in young people. And I had much the same effect that she did. But what I found, or the same effect Sophia did, I found that problems that used to plague me, emotional family problems, personal problems, or issues, I started to see things much more clearly and less emotional. I had that same experience of being able to lift myself a little away from what's going on, analyze my life, and fix what's wrong. It made me lean into things that I used to lean away from, call out problems that I used to hide from, and I certainly noticed it, and it didn't make me aggressive anyway. It just made me be like, wow, this isn't right in my life, and I need to fix this, and then be fearless in going about the execution. I find that it's a resiliency booster. It gives us tools to be more resilient on whatever life gives us, and these days people are complex, seems more complicated than ever, and our issues are more complex. Our issues, we love somebody, but we still can have issues with that person we love that we have to work out. So I found that it was the brain focus, brain clarity. Now, part of that, I've been studying sleep and how the brain rewires itself, and the process of good sleep basically acts like a vacuum cleaner to the crap in your brain. So getting good, that's why we wake up feeling really clear-headed after we've had a good 9 hours solid sleep. And, life is skippity-doo-dah. You can see clearly. And then how we feel like shit when we don't, because basically it's the same as saying that vacuum cleaner didn't operate last night, and so my brain didn't get clear. I didn't really start to notice the effects on my sleep until about 2 months into taking the mushroom coffee. And then all of a sudden I realized I was taking no sleeping aids like I used to. I used to take CBD plus, and I'd take CBD oil, or I'd take this or this. But I found after, not to kill our own product line, but I did find after a
You're
while
promoting one as well.
replacing the coffee bean coffee. And I still spike every cup of mushroom coffee. We still make coffee bean coffee. It's always in the coffee
Yeah.
pot. We spike. But where I used to have maybe 3 cups in a day, I'll have like a half cup, and it's just a shot in each mushroom coffee.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like yeast.
Yeah. It's like a shot of espresso, but it's just regular coffee
Right,
in each
yeah.
one.
Into my mushroom coffee, because I still really, really like the taste of coffee bean coffee. And I also think coffee bean coffee in small doses, like a half a cup a day, is really good for you for many of its own reasons.
Yeah.
It's too much that causes us jittery and stomach problems and all
I
of that.
I used to drink like 3-4 cups of coffee a day, and then just this year alone, I just try to like drink any caffeine I'm gonna drink. It's before 12.
That's the
and
rule.
then and that's my own way of kind of.
You know now you're
regulating.
middle-aged, dude. You start doing that stuff, that's a very middle-aged thing to
that looks good,
conclusion to
sister.
come to. That,
All righty.
that you have to have all your caffeine before noon.
Yeah,
There he
yeah.
goes.
yeah, exactly. And then here I am. No, just kidding.
Well, this one has no real coffee in it. This is
No, I
just
got
the
you.
plain mushroom coffee, so you get to try it out.
No, that's good. That's really
now,
good.
some people add a little sweetener. I don't know if you
I
did.
prefer, yeah.
You did you?
I
Okay.
Oh no, no,
Nice.
but even like with no sweetener at all, it has a nice flavor to it. Like it does like taste like coffee-esque. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even
Yes.
without
Yes.
which I think is like a big thing for there being no coffee in here.
Right.
You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like the fact that you can get something that tastes like
Yeah.
that.
You're talking to a 5-year ex, like, should I name them? Starbucks coffee barista and manager.
Oh, I worked at Starbucks too as a
Okay,
barista.
there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have been hooked on coffee. Well, I'm Greek also, so like all my life. I've stopped coffee, and I still on occasion want some coffee.
Yeah.
But with that, it's done. It's done for me. It gives me everything I require.
This is
what
really
I
good.
found-
I've
It's
never never
delicious,
had this.
isn't it?
Yeah, I've
Really,
never had this.
And
yeah.
I'm like a gym brat, so I like to go to the gym. I like to work out, but I don't like to eat till after I've worked out.
Yeah.
So if I have coffee before I go, my stomach's gnawing at me if I do a 90-minute workout. And if I do mushroom coffee, I experience none of that. In fact, it's almost like having a breakfast bar.
And you're still hungry afterwards.
Yes,
That's what
and I have a good
find.
appetite
I have a good
afterwards.
appetite, like at tea.
It doesn't interfere.
Yeah, because sometimes I think with
because
coffee,
interferes with your
it
appetite.
suppresses appetite. Yeah, and like
Mushroom
you're.
coffee does not do that.
I was gonna say, and like so, I don't know if you guys know, but like I was prescribed Adderall for 2 years as well.
No, I
and like the thing that you were talking about, like with your emotions and stuff like that, something that Adderall does is it suppresses your emotions. So like you're so focused on your task or whatever it may be that you do not care about this person's feeling, that person's feeling, how somebody else, you know what I mean? And so like that was like a big problem for me when I was on Adderall. Was like I didn't even realize any of it until like I stopped taking Adderall. You know what I mean? And you wean off Adderall, but like I didn't even know that until like you kind of look back at relationships and you're like, oh well, that's why that maybe failed, or that's why like disconnect with your parents or whatever it may be. And so I think like what you guys are trying to do
I
is
think that Adderall is in some cases doing good work and being prescribed properly by therapists. I just think it's overprescribed, and those same therapists, if they could accomplish the same thing with natural mushrooms,
Yeah.
with mushroom coffee, they would say, hell yeah, give up the pharmaceuticals, take your mushroom coffee. We stacked all these ingredients for a reason. Mudwater, they're the best-selling mushroom coffee on the market. They only have about half the ingredients. we have.
Really?
We stacked our ingredients to be best for mood stabilization, that everybody in our circle that took it, we don't have to worry about their crazy coming out because they're naturally being taken care of their neuro activity, basically. And I think science is going to teach us a lot about how our brains and mycelium under trees in the woods work the same, and how their neurons fire and how they communicate. It's all a big mystery now. It's like a magical mystery. But we just know firsthand that we experienced sort of a very brittle feeling at the enclave from the pandemic of, oh my God, are we all going to die? And how awful is this? We're spraying Lysol on our food, to a sense of calm and that we can handle any storm that comes our way. Before the pandemic ended, we had reached our calm. And I think that's what's important. Maria, did you want to share your experiences with the mushroom coffee? Or
Yeah, so I've only been taking it since June or July this year, and I knew about our mushroom coffee because I'm a sister, but there was nothing in New Zealand. In Australia, there was something close that had 3 or 4 mushrooms, but nothing with 17, nothing at all. And so I started taking it as soon as I got there, and I am a huge coffee drinker. I can drink coffee till 3 p.m. and not eat. It's something I'm not proud of, but that's what I used to do, and that doesn't happen anymore. And the gnawing, that's the hugest thing for me. Is like if we sit in a 7:30 meeting, you can hear my stomach, right? Not anymore.
no, but I think partially that's the oat milk. Partially it's we're all making lattes where we might have just had black coffee with cream, but now we whip up the latte.
Oat milk, yeah.
Excuse me. But I certainly notice as somebody who likes to have that in the morning and then go off to the club to work out that I don't have, and my stomach, I know it's been better for my stomach.
Yeah, it's a definite positive side effect and not a negative one.
And you had to move here from New Zealand
that's the
and
other
leave your
thing.
children who are young. So this, and we were planning for this for like what, 2 years?
Yeah.
So this was 2 years in the planning of answering paperwork with Homeland Security, and
I
every
kept
proposal
hearing about
has
Sister
authority
Maria,
of-
and I was like, is this a real sister? I don't know, you guys.
So that had to be very stressful for you.
I mean, it was about like first we thought it was going to be January, and then we found it in January. It wasn't going to be till June or July, and then in March we came up with a plan that succeeded the July flight, and within I think 11 days I booked my flight, packed my bags, and I was here.
And then, so is that when you started taking the mushroom coffee? Is when you
Only
got
in
here?
this country, yeah, because we haven't got it at home.
And do you think it helped you with the transition?
So much, in every single way, because when I went home for a month, did I miss it like crazy?
Oh
Like,
yeah, actually that happens too.
And
We-
so, can you not have it in?
no, she just didn't think to take
Oh,
any.
okay, gotcha.
And next time you'll know better, right?
I've already sent it there. It's
Oh,
already
so
there
now
waiting
it's
for
there
me.
waiting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
she's going in March. So and didn't we take it also on our green tour? I think we had it with us on the green
We
tour, didn't?
wanted to. We thought it was a good idea. We took it to Lake Arnold.
Lake Arnold. Okay, I knew we
Yeah.
took it somewhere. Somewhere we're like, okay, we're tired of waking up and having this hotel coffee to choose from. But that's the other thing I would like to see us do is to get the universities in California and the institutions offering this as a healthful replacement everywhere they offer coffee, hospitals and universities, because this is healthful, way better.
No, exact, and way more health benefits than you get energy. You know what I mean? And like, I'm only gonna drink a quarter of this, and I don't like. I feel like I feel better. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I do. Like, cause like I don't know. Sometimes when you like have something, I'm like, oh, like I don't. Like, am I gonna feel this? Does it just taste good? You know what I mean? But like, I feel like it's doing something
It's
for
the
me. You know what I
turmeric
mean?
and the cinnamon and the ginger, all of those work together. It's meant to be a feel-good drink. It's
But
meant
also,
to make
you
you
were
feel like.
saying this
But
when-
also, it's satisfying where coffee doesn't satisfy you in a way. Coffee is almost like a cigarette. If you have one, you're going to want another one. You're going to want another one.
yeah.
But this, you can have 2 cups and be really good. Get on with your day, right?
Yeah.
Switch over to herbal tea or something,
Yeah.
and you're not continually craving it.
Right.
No, this is really good. A good substitute for coffee. Like easily, you could substitute that. And like you guys are saying, if you need to, you can just add a tiny bit of coffee, and there's your little your
I do. That's
caffeine
my
kick.
sin.
Yeah.
That's my thrill.
But also, you were saying this morning about the turmeric, about fibrosis and things like that, and you take extra turmeric for that twice a week. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
For me, I thought I know that's in our coffee, so I know I'm.
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
it.
That's true. That's true. I didn't even think of it.
Yeah.
I've done it so out of habit. Turmeric in powder form, a couple of times a week in your diet will prevent any fibroid tumors in your body from forming. And so I take that as part of my vitamins, forgetting that we also have it in our mushroom coffee as well. I probably don't need to have it in both places. Okay. Do you have any other questions or anything we should address? We'll wrap this up. This is really just about sharing what we knew.
Yeah, I think the main thing that I would say that we should talk about is like your guys' coffee, like compared to like other coffees. You know what I mean? Let's think about like you're saying like that mud coffee. It has
Mud water.
mud water. It has like a few
6 ingredients.
and you know that's made in a huge giant lab somewhere where like you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Where I think your guys' is like in your own mushroom lab,
It is.
but like
Handmade.
handmade. Yeah, exactly. And that's like something that like it's handmade. Each one is like taken with care. Same thing with like you guys'
Yeah,
other
every batch
products.
is
You know
made
what I mean?
with a special machine, Matilda. Every batch is made by the Cycles of the Moon, like we make everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
So, yes, I don't think there is anything on the market. I think we set out as scholarly women to create something that was superior to anything else in the market. I think enough people don't know about it yet,
Yeah,
and that's why we're
correct.
doing this little
Yeah.
informational video.
No, I think it's great, and I think that like you're saying, I think if it just got out there, like this tastes good, it makes you feel good, and not only does it taste gonna make you feel good, it's actually good for you, which is
Yes.
like a big difference between like that and coffee or that and
Exactly.
other products. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they may make you feel good, but are they good for you? Do
And
they
right
actually
now,
help
I
you?
think people are seeking things that help them be more resilient. The problems aren't going to go away. The shit show's not going to go away. The crazy isn't going to go back in the box. We have things we have to deal with, and we all have to get more resilient, more psychologically armored to deal with whatever it is that we're going to have to deal with in these coming decades.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, aho.
Well, I think before you guys leave, where can people find your information at? You know what I mean?
Sistersofthevalley.org.
There we go. All righty, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you,
thanks,
Micah.
Micah.